Good morning, Valhalla. How's everybody out there doing? Uh, we just got done watching this episode of Picard season 3. I know we had a really short open, but we've got a lot to get to. Before we start, I want to tell a little story. And that story is about the Battle of Wolf 359. One starship out of the 40 ships that Starfleet sent to intercept the Borg at Wolf 359 survived. It was the USS Endeavour. I believe it was a Nebula-class starship. That starship was responsible for getting the escape pods. The U.S. Endeavour, it was like it was a race to get power restored, to get the ship back online, and to save as many Starfleet crew as possible that were in escape pods after the battle. That's why when the Enterprise D warped in after the battle, they found no life signs, no nothing, because the USS Endeavour had gotten the escape pods and gotten out of the system. The reason why this happened, you can blame Picard, you can blame whatever you want to, but here's the facts. When Jean-Luc Picard was captured by the Borg and turned into Locutus, Riker warned Admiral Hansen before the battle. He said, they have Picard, that means they've got everything we've got. And Hansen refused to listen. He did not listen to Riker. As soon as that information was given to Admiral Hansen, it was his responsibility and his job to protect that fleet, to change all access codes, to change all communication codes, to change all weapon frequencies, shield frequencies, everything that made those ships vulnerable to the knowledge that Picard had. It was his responsibility to do that, and he didn't. He told Riker, I refuse to believe that Jean-Luc Picard, the man I know, the man that ran the marathon at Delula 2, I refuse to believe he would help the enemy. This is on him, period. End of discussion. Jean-Luc Picard was captured. He was turned into a Borg. He had no choice. He had no chance to stop it. If Admiral Hansen had listened to Riker, they may have had a chance. There's a book called The Best Tools. It's a DS9 book. It's all about Sisko trying to find some way to defeat the Borg at Wolf 359. It's a good book if you ever get a chance to read it. However, multiple times, from Sisko in the very first episode of DS9 to what we've seen a little bit in this episode, Picard has been blamed. It's this guy turned on the Federation and yada yada yada, and it's easy to point the blame at the guy that was taken prisoner and turned. However, it is not Picard's fault. No, period. It's why I got so pissed off at Sisko in that first episode. It was like, you son of a bitch, you don't understand. You would think that information would be readily available. Shum, come on, Loki, admirals never make mistakes. Yeah. However, this blame lay solely on his feet because he would not listen. In the book, and there's another one that talks about the captain of the Endeavour. There were ships that were completely shut down by Picard because he had the access codes, just like in Wrath of Khan. He had the codes. He had the codes to the ships. So there were ships that were just bloop shut off. This is on them. This is not on Picard, the human being that we know. Period.
Well, the man who lives usually takes the blame, Loki. As far as I'm aware, Admiral Hansen was killed in action
right at the beginning of the battle. His ship was immediately targeted. Yes, because he was the leader. He cut the head off the snake, and that's it. And that's exactly what Picard did. He went right after Hansen's ship. He took out Hansen's ship. That's what Locutus did. And I've seen a couple of things that this morning. One of the things I saw from MB Geek, Let's Talk, it was a massacre. And it wasn't a battle; it was a massacre. They didn't have a chance. They did have a chance if Hansen had listened to Riker and listened to what he was telling him. Just like if Picard had listened to Guinan when they first met the Borg, because Guinan warned Picard, destroy them now. Just don't play around with these bastards. Destroy their ship. And what did he do? He played around with them, and he almost lost the ship. And if it wasn't for Q snapping his fingers, the Enterprise would have been assimilated. The crew would have been assimilated. They would have had the Enterprise technology, and things would have been even worse. So, Dave Bob's Custer's Last Stand massacre. Yeah. It was preventable. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to the panel this morning. Ryan Rodriguez is here. Good morning, sir.
Well, it's great to be here, Loki, and it's nice to learn new things about Star Trek, despite the state that it's in. I hope everyone is doing well on the panel as well as on the chat, and here's to a great show.
Yeah. Arwen Avalon is here. Good morning, Arwen.
Good morning, y'all. It is good to be here this morning. Still waking up with coffee.
I hope you have your forks and roided owls ready to hoot us.
I am ready to hoot and stab. Let's put it that way.
24/7 Fusion Media is here. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just glad to be here, man. I'm excited to get this show going, and glad to see everybody out there. So it's ready to have a good Friday with everyone, man.
Rambling Canuck is here. You just had a great stream with Drac. How's it going, brother?
Oh, thank you for saying that. I'm a little sore. I was supposed to meet you yesterday, and I completely spaced. But we're doing good, and we're here this morning, so that's all that works.
Damn straight. Dave Bob, good morning. How are you doing, my friend? The rooster in the hen house is here. I can hear it now. I didn't like it, Loki. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. There was some stuff I didn't like. And I'm just gonna jump right on the thing here. F-bombs do not belong in Star Trek.
Nope,
they don't.
And I think that if there's one big nope on this entire episode, it's the F-bomb. Can I forgive it in the context it was given in? I had heard that this had something to do with the Borg, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Borg. It happened to it was
the previous scene.
Yeah, it was the previous scene. It wasn't, this Borg talk that they get into. So I don't know. I don't like F-bombs in Star Trek. So let's get down to, we're gonna go around the panel here. I want to touch on a couple of things. I'm gonna fireball this really quick because I know Arwen doesn't have a lot of time here. We start off with the Enterprise quote sinking, the Titan sinking into the gravity well, into this nebula. Riker says that it's sinking. We obviously were left with that in the last episode. I'm gonna right off the bat though. I'm gonna let you guys know there's no Rafi in this episode, so it immediately gets a point just for that. Because we don't have Rafi, even though Planet Blade Runner gets mentioned again. It's like every episode. Planet Natalis. We were on Planet Natalis, a real shithole. Yeah, really? We already kind of established that.
We know that, Terry. Move on.
God, every episode. Oh, Planet Natalis. Yeah. So, Arwen, we'll start with you. Beginning of the episode. What did you think about the beginning of the episode?
Okay, remind me.
I'm Apologies.
Thinking of the other scenes. Yeah. Okay. My mind is all over the place with this episode because I actually enjoyed so much of it. And the other parts I'm kind of like but I didn't mind the beginning. I didn't mind the way that it started out, the way that it progressed. It felt more, this episode alone felt more like Star Trek than any of the others. And I don't mind flashbacks, especially when they have a purpose and a reason. If it's just flashback for flashback's sake, like some of the ones that they've done, yeah, it's been nice, but some of the flashbacks have felt like fillers. This one was leading to something, and you see it as the show progresses. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I just, the poor man, let him eat his food, but okay, whatever. Whatever, it's all right. But yeah, I thought it was okay.
Dave Bob.
Oh,
I love it.
it's too. I don't know. I'm just. I'm black pill, but
he's in that thistle patch.
Well,
Those thistles.
Dave Bob, if I can, one of the things I'm absolutely in total agreement with you on is the writing. I think this has a feel of Star Trek. I think this has the mood of Star Trek. I think that the story is becoming like Star Trek, but it's the writing.
Mildly derivative.
But at least it's connecting. It's more of what we've asked for. But the problem is the writing. The writing there's some cringe in the writing, and
there's more than cringe. I mean, it's basically shit. The writing is just shit. I mean, I can't go get through a scene without, something just jumping out, and you just got to shake your head. And that's one of the main things I have a problem with it. They're trying the best they can, but they are missing the mark. It's, that's just my opinion.
Southern Viking says he can feel the pain in your voice.
It's those things that are jarring, are very jarring. You're cruising along, and then wham, something happens that just takes you out, and it takes you a moment to recalibrate and remember this is Star Trek and get back in that thing again.
Yeah, inconsistency. So. It's the hallmark of season 3. It's very inconsistent show.
They kicked out a real writer, says Larry. They did. They did because he was telling a story, and they didn't like it. And
of course, they did.
Didn't matter whether he was a black man or not. They got rid of him because, oh my God, he's so toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what did you think about the first part of this episode?
Well, I think it was a solid start. I'm not really a fan of flashbacks myself, but thankfully there was a point to it. But I think it was a solid start. A bit slow. Of all the episodes, Loki, that should have had a B plot, it almost deserved a B plot. It was this episode, so I did feel it started a bit slow, but yay, no Raffi. So, yeah. I think it was a good but slow start. That's my view.
And Dean, absolutely. He didn't apologize.
No.
He didn't apologize. He just got that look. And it's the same look he got when he was in Sisko's office. It's that same, when Sisko brought that up, have I met you before? Picard asked. And he's like, yes, we met in battle at the Battle of Wolf 359. And I'm like, oh my God, fuck you. It wasn't his fault. He got that same look on his face, that he put his tea down and has that look on his face in that first episode of DS9. And he gets that exact same look on his face. Rambling Canuck. My brother from another mother. Tell me what
Yeah.
you thought about the first part of this episode.
I'll agree with Ryan. It was a little slow at the beginning, but I think what they were going for, they, like as Dave Bob says, the writing missed the mark because they were looking for the suspension and drawing it out, but they just the writing didn't match what was going on the screen was the problem. But overall, I'm very hyped about this one.
All right. 24/7 fusion.
You know, actually, this was a different kind of episode. They tried to make it more thought provoking. Like, they actually put, some thought into it, coming up with the idea of riding the wave and all this other shit. It was a little bit more constructed. It was more folks got along better. There was more understanding to the characters. It was a better put together episode. I enjoyed it as much as I did the first. Well, I think I enjoyed it. Around the same level as the first two episodes. And like I say, this episode, I guess 3, that was the oddball. Of course, written by a whole different person. I don't know what, it feels like it's shifted in this one. And it has more of the feel of the first 2 episodes than it did the third. Thank God it wasn't no Ralphie. I can just fuck, man.
No crack, mama.
Oh my God, man, I'm just saying, man. I know. I mean, shit. You gotta understand. I grew up looking at Ralphie's my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just seeing that and on the Star Trek versus, I could have just walked outside, and see that shit on the street corner. It's like, oh my God. So just see that element. Yeah. This is just to really that's really what's fucked up, man. Just see that straight hood element that I could fucking go outside, or I could see that in Star Trek. The thing is, I don't think she would have made it that far. Like, she was straight like a hood, ghetto, whatever, non-professional, don't give a fuck, blah blah blah. I don't think she would have made it. Because the thing is, the Federation, they have a standard of quality to them. At least it used to have. I don't know, man. Probably New Trek. They let her and everybody else named Mama up in that motherfucker. But but the thing is, it's like for her to be as hood as she is, I don't think she would have made it that far, man. She probably would have, gotten to the academy and probably would have. She didn't get her shit straight, man. She would have been out of there, man. But that's another thing. I can't. Like, it's like Boys in the Hood meet Star Trek in this motherfucker, man. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's weird as shit.
Thankfully, we didn't get that in the
right.
Hopefully, that continues into the 5th and the 6th. But I don't know. We may get a whole Raffi Worf episode in episode 5. You never know.
This is kind of like Richard Pryor and Mama Rudolph. The spider will return.
Bill Barkley says 2 nitpicks.
Oh yeah,
the power for the holodeck.
Superman.
The power for the holodeck, they couldn't transfer that when Riker asked for all power. Okay, so ever since Next Gen ended, what they did was on Voyager, the holodeck power system runs on a small fusion battery that has its own power source that is completely independent from the other system. The reason being, which is explained in the technical manual for Voyager, is that there were so many incidences of power surges and stuff like that screwed up the holodeck on the Enterprise and different starships, that they made a separate power system that wouldn't be affected by power surges and the like from the warp core, from the impulse engines. So the holodecks have their own power system that's completely separate from. Now, could they have found a way to power the ship It's possible, but they didn't even do that in Voyager. So the holodeck power could never be transferred to the impulse engines or to weapons or anything like that because it was completely separate from the rest of the ship systems.
Bad
So, I
design.
mean, yeah. That's been that way for a while, though. That's not something that just happened or that they just came up with. There are still problems on the holodeck. Yes, Sean. There's always going to be problems on the holodeck.
Jumper cables. That's a good one, Larry.
I thought of that. I thought of that when they were like, jumpstart the ship. I'm like,
Yeah.
how the hell do you know what a jumpstart is?
Well, you see, Loki, Riker used to be a master of combustion engines. He liked cars. No, that was Tom Paris. Oh, shit. I'm like totally talking out my ass now. How the hell would they know what a jump is?
Yeah, I was tripping. I was like, is he about to hot wire the fucking the
Let's
Star
sail.
ship? Like he's down there. He's about to. I thought he was going to take 2 wires and start to like.
May I present
Don't-
Exhibit
don't-
A, battery eater from last season?
Yeah. God, don't remind me about that. I'm at the buffet. Look, all the cards are open. I'm at the buffet.
So they
God,
do have
help me.
experiences with jumps. I'm just saying.
Shit.
So I'm just like,
No.
and Brandon, stay tuned. At the end of this stream, I'm going to give you a big shout out, brother. So just
Ooh.
stay tuned, Brandon.
Mhm.
We'll give you a live shout out because I don't like to do videos. Loki doesn't like to do uploads, but I will give you a big shout out at the end of the show. So,
Are we doing spoilers?
that's what we're just about to go into. So if you don't want any spoilers,
Making sure.
if you don't want any spoilers, you've been warned.
Good.
We've oops, wrong one. Coming soon, Dragonstone Taco. You son of a bitch. Breaking news: research indicates unfavorable. Ah! Breaking news: Mexican Iron Man's HR complaint found to be inadequate, like his window jumping skills. Oh my! Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much. Spoilers, everybody. Here we go. So Picard has a Borg moment. I think that was to me, that was the biggest. And we'll go around the room to you guys tell us before we get to the end, because we're gonna switch. We're beginning, middle, and end. I think the biggest scene in the middle of this episode was the Borg moment, where we get to hear about how Captain Shaw, who should be running around his ship singing, "I'm an asshole,
Yeah.
I'm an
From
asshole,
Chicago.
I'm an asshole from Chicago. I have baby seal headlights for spinners on my Titan. Baby seal eyes, whatever. Baby seal skin hubcaps. He's just, I don't know. I've gone back and forth from who the hell is this guy and why the hell is he here? Have you ever heard that one before? Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah.
That's a Jack O'Neill special right there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like incompetent leaders that, why are you in charge? Who are you? And why are you here? Are you here to help? Are you here to run things? Or are you just a numbers person that thinks they can run their mouth and talk shit? Don't have to take any responsibility for their actions. Who is he? So I've gone back and forth from who is this guy and why is he here to, you know what? I kind of like him. I kind of like him. He's got some, screw you attitude. And maybe if I was in his position, I would have been like, why the hell are you two on my ship? The two cowboys of Starfleet that think they can just do whatever they want to. Why are you here? It's my ship. Oh, well, we would like you to take us to planet Terry Metalis. Fuck you. I'm not going anywhere near that drug den. No. Half of my crew will not get hooked on eye candy or whatever the hell else Rappy's doing. Like, give mama a fix, baby. Give it up. I'm popping that vein. My eye vein is open, motherfucker. Squirt that shit in.
Hi, Vane.
God help me. I'm surprised they don't have her like doing a needle in the eye, in the eyeball. Give me a
Just like with
fix.
Picard and the Borg in
Yeah.
First Contact.
Tell
Well,
you
he's
what, Loki, you do a
definitely-
hell of a rappy, man. I tell you.
I mean,
You
yes,
went
when he
hell of a
started
rappy.
out, it was, he was douche lord. And I'm like, I
Mm.
can't get into this. But now he's elevated to asshole. And I kind of like assholes. I kind of have a thing for him. So I'm all right with that. But the thing is you understand
Mm.
you really learn about his backstory, being directly involved with, Picard
Hmm.
and the Borg. And I know, yes, it was Hans's fault. I know the thing with Picard that he was just in a victim in himself, but at the same time, he is there and he is that visual representation of the loss that people felt. He was leading that charge. You cannot separate that. You cannot escape that. And with, people saying, well, Picard didn't apologize and he didn't this and didn't that. He has got to carry that weight on his shoulders for the rest of his life. And he is resigned to accept, yes, I did this. Yes, I was assimilated. Yes, it was Locutus. Yes, it was part of the Borg. I'm okay now. It doesn't matter. He was still leading that charge. What the hell can he say? Really, apology? Okay. It gets to a point though where you can't apologize anymore. You just have to be resigned that you did what you did. So that's why he takes this grief that people are pouring on him. And I'm sorry, I get where they're coming from. It's understandable. It may not be right. It may not be rational. It may not be fair. But when they look at him, like when Shaw looks at him, he sees all those people that died.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, Picard just has to walk away because he has no little ships to break.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. You can't
The
rationalize
only
that and go, well,
Borg
it's Hanson's
that got
fault.
a
He was the
name.
one and blah. No, there's Picard right there. There's Locutus.
And I like that, Dave Bob, when he said the only Borg so deadly, they gave him a damn name. And I'm like, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It is what it is. And when you hear that from Shaw, it's like, damn, I get it. No wonder when he saw Picard, I'm surprised he didn't, being kind of the douche lord that he was at the time, I'm surprised he didn't kick him off the ship.
Well, that moment, that event all those years ago did mark, in my view, the end of the golden age of the Federation, because they really got a kick in the backside. When was the last time the Federation lost 11,000 personnel in a single battle? So maybe the roots of why everyone's so jaded, that is the foundation of it, and it only got worse and worse as the Dominion got involved in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. And then by the time we get to where we are today with the Federation in the 25th century, it's dark, it's jaded, because of all the loss of life that has taken place over the past few decades.
MB Geeks Bar and Girl with $5 super chat says, when Shaw said first time we met and said stardate 447902, I was like, now it makes sense. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Although the only
thank you MB Geek.
And the other part that does make sense and it ties it in nicely is why he doesn't like his first officer.
She is Borg.
It's like, okay, I get it now. And I thought they did it really well. Sometimes when they do, reveals about people, it's kind of like, that's thin. No, I get it with him. I totally get it, because we did see that already with Cisco. The loss of his wife, the loss of the people that he knew, and there's Picard, there's Locutus.
I'm sure there's a lot of people in the Federation feel the same way.
Yeah, kind of. But anyway,
yes, clip that, Mark. Clip it. Clip it.
And for all we know, folks, there could have been another Borg incursion in the 23 or 2490s. There could have been another battle that we're not aware of, where the Borg.
Well, first
did a-
contact. They yeah. So
Yeah.
first contact, of course.
Yeah, so it's happened before. For all we know, they may make a prequel 10 years before the events of this show, where they do it a third time. and
God help me,
put the
no.
Federation in the nuts.
Don't not give them ideas, Ryan.
With a
Do
super
not give
Borg,
them
too.
ideas. No.
Ryan, the Borg were mutilated in Voyager enough. We can leave them alone.
Yeah, and just take the first season of Picard.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's
take down a
what I
Borg
was about to
cube
say.
with a giant tulip. That's gonna be so
No,
revolutionary,
the tulip was on
guys.
the Borg side. What are you talking about?
We're
What?
gonna take down a cube with a tulip, a giant space tulip.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Right?
Apparently, you have some fans, Ryan. Looks like Ryan's trying to play charades.
We've got to highlight you guys somehow. That's what I do with my hands when I do a show while the guest is speaking. I point down and say hi and do this non-verbal communication.
I've got a question. We're gonna go around the panel because we're gonna run out of time, and I don't want to run out of time. I want to get Arwen's final take on this before she has to go.
Okay.
The new look for the goo of the changelings.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna. It's weird looking.
Yeah, it's fleshy.
It's weird looking.
Yeah, I don't remember them being so muscly. Just
No, they were
ugh.
just clear goo. They were like, liquid goo. Warm liquid goo phase initiating.
Now they're like
Um,
flayed skin and and muscle and gristle.
like a
and it's
mutation.
gross. I don't like it.
It looks like melted flesh. Yes, Bill Barkley.
I don't like it.
And anybody notice how the phasers, were very ineffective when he was running down the hall toward 7? I mean,
That could be
and then
explained
she
away
just
as a
stood there
setting,
and
but-
watched it jump into the port, into the crack in the wall or whatever. She just sitting there watching.
Every time I see them with the pew-pews, I think of that old Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of Prince in Space. Your weapons will have no effect on me. That's just what I think of when I'm like, they shoot and nothing happens. I'm like, what
It
is
depends on what
the running
setting the
theme?
phaser's on too.
But you're right.
Okay.
Loki. The shape of them when they were goo and everything else just totally, it doesn't look like it. I mean, it's just not there. I mean, I can, in my mind watch Odo all the times that he was the goo and everything, and I can't
Yeah.
picture it the way they're doing it now.
For me, I think the only way that I'll be able to accept the new look is if there's an explanation.
Like a mutation.
Yes, or genetic modification.
Because the Dominion are known to genetically modify their subjects.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, because Odo didn't used to do, the cut off the hand thing. So have they decided, well, we don't have Jem'Hadar anymore, so we're just going to genetically modify ourselves, and something effed up, and now this is what you get?
And I don't think I'm going along with what you just said. Bill Barkley says, "What is Vatic? Is she a changeling, part changeling, which is just the arm or hand, or something else?" I think she's something else. I don't think she's a changeling. I don't think what was attached to her hand was a changeling. I think it's something else.
Yeah,
It's ugly, whatever it is.
Oh, it is. It is. And the thing that I loved about the previous look of the changelings is that they looked very alien. They were very, unsolid, because they call us the solids, with the new look. And I agree, it could be something like that. It could be a mutation, modification, whatever. And until we know, we don't know. But right now, when they change, they look part solid. And I don't like that. I always liked the really alien look to their natural form. And
Loki should be happy he finally got his Klingon crazy spin in the chair.
Yeah, she did. She scanned it.
And let's slip the dogs of war.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, if she says that, I'm going to lose my shit.
Who's got my cigars? God damn it.
Madam
From no
Chang.
to spinning around in the chair.
You know, when she chopped her hand off, you know, and it like, you know, went up and started talking to her, I just couldn't help but wait for her to say, "Bring in the clown!"
Yes.
Frau Farbissina.
It was
Oh,
very
you
Harry
remember when we
Potter-esque.
took your semen?
No, very
Huh?
Harry Potter-esque.
You said that. Okay, so that was something Arwen said right off the bat. Was Peter Pettigrew.
She's
And I was
Peter
like, holy shit,
Pettigrew.
she just got off her.
And the face was Voldemort waiting for a body, I guess. I don't know.
That wizard game. They're stealing
Yes,
from
that wizard game.
Well, that wizard film. But the as a result of those orders that the hand creature was giving to Vadok, folks, she had to get rid of her Rick and Morty weapon to go into the anomaly. And if she hadn't have done that, she might have won, considering what the Titan did to her ship.
Plot armor.
Didn't she say that the gravimetric
Yeah.
distortions would
Yeah.
People are convinced that
Yeah,
Shinzon's knife, I think it's just a knife that looks like yeah, Shinzon's dead. So Picard impaled him on a pipe. Young Picard got piped. By old Picard. I'm old. Now bend over so I may pipe thee.
Yes.
You can only do that.
Blue pills. Anyway.
You can only do that in the Metallus system, Loki, the most dirty, seediest system in the Federation. The Metallus system. Yeah.
Well, okay. So Pacific 414 asks a good question. Could it be that these changelings found a cure from the virus that Section 31 created, and it wasn't the same grade as the one created by Dr. Bashir? That's possible. So all of the changelings weren't connected to the Great Link when Odo went back. So if there were some that never were there, it's possible that they never felt the way Odo did, and they didn't understand the end of the war, and they went off to do their own shit, and they didn't die. And yeah, it's possible.
Like the Japanese remnant that never surrendered during.
Yeah, it only took 2 years. It's all good.
World War.
It only took 2 years.
And even then, they didn't believe it.
So give her a knife. She wants a knife. Want some candy? Want some candy?
No.
I have a can Saturday morning. Oh, I have a con. Cool. Brandon. Heck yeah. Okay. Arwen, I know you've got like 5 minutes. So give us your thoughts. Give us what you thought, and give us a score, and that way we can add yours up to.
I'll start with things that I didn't like, and then I'll go into things I did like, and then I'll score it.
Okay.
I thought the scene with Picard and Jack was just a little too long. It kind of made sense when they showed the flashback that Jack did go and to see him. I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, I think it was unfair when Picard makes the comment, the only family I've ever needed was, the Federation. Because, I think he was saying that for the sake of the, I don't know, what were they, cadets? Were they ensigns? I don't know what the hell they were, but, the young Starfleet group. But at the same...
He comes to, and I agree with that. He comes to accept that he's never going to have that in generations.
Right. But at the same time, emotions are flawed, and you can't. We feel what we feel. So for Jack to hear that and not pursue anything further, okay, that makes sense too. So that was an interesting scene. The flashback was more interesting than their actual scene in the bar. But I did like how Picard did say, when Jack was like, well, look, I didn't need this. I don't, no offense. But Picard was like, well, no, I needed it. That was good, because that's what I was thinking. Picard needs this. Jack may not, but Picard does. So that went on a little too long. The changeling thing, yeah, whatever, gross, gristle. Okay, there may be a reason. I personally think the producers just wanted to get a little gross with it and a little more shocking and visceral, and then they're going to come up with the reason why. I do not believe that the writers went into that saying, okay, let's see where the changelings were and where they are now and flesh things out. And I just think they wanted to be gross, but whatever. We may find out.
Like a horror
Yeah.
aspect. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I think.
When Seven shoots, when the changeling looks like that one officer, and he loses the arm, he's like, yeah. And you're like, oh my God, is this it? Or is this the thing? Or is this Star Trek?
Exactly. So it's going for that shock value, I believe.
The shooting scene, all I gotta say to you, Loki, is T-1000.
Because he regrows the arm back, doesn't he?
But the things that I did like, and I know it's like when Riker is telling Picard, look, it's over. It's over. I know there was some, well, that's not really Picard. That's not what he would do. And yes, on the surface, that was not Picard. I'm sorry, Riker. That wasn't Riker. Okay. That the Riker that we knew would never have done that. He would have Kobayashi Maru'd the hell out of that shit. But after learning about the loss of his son and seeing how it had changed him, death will change you. I have not lost a child. I have lost a husband, and I've seen how that has changed me. I can't imagine losing a child. It's bad enough to lose a partner, but to lose someone that is, blood of your blood, flesh of your flesh, has half of your DNA, that's devastating. I cannot imagine how that could change someone. So to see him with that story going, when I watched my son being lowered, and it struck me, there's nothing after this. This is all there is. That devastated me. And then at the end, to see that it took something so monumental to change him and to shift him and to bring him back to life. Y'all, I've been there. I know what that feels like, to have something bring you back to life. I was like, shit, that's what it was about. That's why he did what he did. And he's being restored to where he once was. Now he has changed and he has shifted and he has become a different person, but he found that spark again. And I think we're going to see more of that old Riker. All that made sense to me. I got behind that 3,000%. And I loved that we actually saw that progression. And yes, I love that there was no B plot. Thank God, no Rafi, but I love that there was no B plot. It felt more like Star Trek. They were on that ship. They were facing a diabolical situation. What the hell did they do? Don't banter and argue and fuss in front of the crew. Get your asses together. Combine your talents. That's what you were made to do. And that's what they did. And I freaking applaud that. I applaud that. Yes, there were some things that the cussing and I'm sorry, when Picard said fucking, I'm like, no, motherfucker, you would have said damn. You would have said damn. You wouldn't have said fuck. No, I'm sorry. It just doesn't belong in it just doesn't belong in Star Trek. It takes you out of that moment and it jars you out of that moment. And then you got to spend all that time thinking, well, that really sucked. Why'd they say that? And then you got to get back in that moment. And can we please, for the love of God, turn the lighting up on these ships? I know the power, blah, blah, blah. But it's been like this since season 1. Can we please get a little more light? I think it would feel a little bit more. Again, it would give you that atmosphere, because Star Trek is not just about story and character. It's about atmosphere. And that's why we love it. And that's what gives it that feel. But yeah, I'm going to actually give this episode an 8. which I think is the
Okay.
highest that I've given it. And I'm going to continue watching it. You know, I really am. I am anxious to see where it goes. But
I've got one question to ask you before you get out of here.
okay.
And this is the question I'm going to ask the entire panel. So
Okay.
prepare your answers, gentlemen
Mhm.
and lady.
Mhm.
If the first 3 episodes had been nothing but Picard and Riker on the Titan and all of this happening and the entire B plot, Raffi on planet, Metalis, drug use, BS
Mhm.
had come in the next episode. So 3 episodes of nothing but Picard and Riker. And
Mhm.
then we get dumped on planet M with Mama needs a push. Mama needs a little bit more. Mama needs a little eye candy.
Mhm.
Would you have continued to watch it?
If this episode was just Rafi,
Yeah.
is that what you're saying? The first 3 were just the ship, and this episode was Rafi.
Cut everything out. Cut everything Rafi out of the first couple of episodes, and just give us the story from Picard and Riker in the first 3 episodes, and then we get the Rafi Worf shit for the next couple of episodes, and then they do a combination or something.
I don't know. I would probably be like, why the hell are they doing this? Is this the direction they're going? Are we going to get, Mama wants her crack from now on? No, because I do not give 2 shits about her. I think it's awesome that Worf is there. Yay. Can we just stick a picture of her in the bottom right-hand corner and have it just be about Worf if they insist on her being in there? Just a little picture. The rest of it can be Worf. I can jive with that. But I don't care about her. I cannot bond with that character. So yeah, if this episode was all about Rafi, 1, my score would be way lower, probably a 2 or 3. But no, I would not be as jazzed as watching it. I think if they really want to get back on track, they need to put her on a back burner and have her be a G plot as opposed to even a B plot. And get Worf, let Worf wrap things up with her, kick her to the curb, and him somehow get back in with Picard and Riker and do what he does best. And join that team back up. That's what they need to do, I think, to really say they are serious about restoring Star Trek. So, but until they do that, we'll have to see what happens. But yes, I am interested to see what happens next.
All right. Well, if you've got a minute more, let everybody know where you're at, what you do, what you got going on, and if you've got any streams coming up or videos, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, y'all can find me on my YouTube channel, Arwen Avalon, and on Twitter, Arwen Avalon. The BackTube, I believe, is supposed to be streaming tonight and tomorrow. You can find me on my channel. You can find me on BackTubes. You can usually find me modding for Fat Steven. And then I'm just kind of, I guess, here and there, kind of all over. Tomorrow, though, I don't know if I'm going to be on BackTube. My daughter is moving home, y'all. So I got to pick her up in Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And if y'all know anything about Atlanta, it's full of one-way streets. They're all called Peachtree Street, and the traffic sucks ass. So I don't know when I'll get home. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Thank you, Loki, for having me on. Y'all, panel, it's been wonderful chat. But I got to go take my other spawn to work. So.
Have a good one.
Talk to y'all later.
All right,
Bye.
take care.
Arwen. Goodbye. All right. Dave Bob, let us know positives, minuses, if there were any positives in your opinion, what you thought about it. And if you're, the big question in my mind is he going to keep watching it, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, the biggest thing I'll say about it is in this episode, it is my opinion that all they did was throw member berries at you from the start of the episode to the end of the episode. And most of them missed, in my opinion. How many of you, when Riker threw the boulder or the asteroid at the Shrike, did you think about Galaxy Quest? When he went through there and grabbed all of those mines and then threw them at that ship, that undefeatable ship, and blew it all to pieces. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And I don't know, just in general, the feel of it, they were doing their very best to try to be Trek, but they kept missing. It's kind of like the old saying, you just keep missing the mark, and that's what it is to me. The writing, the style, like Arwen said, everything's too dark, and the whole atmosphere of the show is dark. Not just particularly the lightning. I'm talking about everything about the Federation now, and Starfleet is just kind of dark, and I don't like that. That's not Star Trek. Star Trek should have more of a hopeful feeling. And as far as it goes, Rafi wasn't on it, so I'm going to give it an extra point just for that, and so therefore it gets a 4.
But is that that's the highest score you've given an episode, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was mainly because Rafi wasn't on there.
Yeah. You get the higher score because Rafi's done it. All right. Thank you, Dave Bob. Rambling Canuck.
All right. Well, for me, I liked that they did some patchwork, so they cleaned up a couple of the storylines. So we get to find out why Captain Shaw is a dick, which is nice, because if they would have left that for the entire season, that would have been kind of just, that he's being a dick to be a dick. So I don't like that. But now we have explanations, so that ties that up. So I like that it's a filler to some degree, but it's a filler with purpose, which is always nice. Sometimes you get filler, just filler, but this was filler, but it had a purpose. So for me, I like that, we're kind of getting the crew back to where they should be. We get Riker kind of, okay, I'm willing to sit properly on a chair now, and I'm willing to, be Riker. Picard is kind of still Picard. And so for me, it's a 7.
Okay. Anything you really liked or didn't like about the episode?
I didn't like. I don't know how I feel about the changelings. Because to me, they were so represented in DS9 that you're almost doing what Discovery did to the Klingons by changing their look. To just change their look. If that's the whole thing, we don't get that explanation, here's why they look different, then it's just to change their look to change their look. And then that's something I'm not sure but I have to hold judgment, because again, you have to give them time to explain, and they're not there yet. Now if they don't get there, that'll be a problem. I really like that we didn't get Raffi. I could care less as far as I'm concerned. Throw it in airlock. Jack Crusher is starting to kind of warm up to me, and I agree with Mark. He's not Wesley Crusher, so he already gets bonus points. But also I'm a little nervous when it comes to Jack, because I'm a little worried that he's gonna be not Picard's son by the end of this season, just by the way things are going. The whole end scene of the episode.
Yeah, they're after him for a reason. First,
yeah.
What it is.
So I'm curious. Is Jack actually still Jack? But I don't know. I'm kind of still feeling it out. We're only 4 episodes in, so I'm just still kind of feeling it out. So I don't really have a major feeling one way or the other, but I'm optimistic. I'll put it that way.
All right. Okay. 24/7 Fusion Media.
What's up, brother?
Give us things you like, things you didn't like, and give us a rating for the episode.
Well, I like that Rafi wasn't there, man. That was it was refreshing not to hear her bullshit. So, that was cool. Actually, it was more it was like the interaction between people was more on a positive level. I guess that's the thing I was able to appreciate more. When I was sitting here checking out this episode, I agreed with Arwen when he said that the talk between Picard and Jack was a little too long. I was like, yeah, that kind of felt like it was jugged. It felt like it was jugged out just to see this dude walk in and start talking shit, about Picard. It'll. I don't know, man. It seemed like it was drawn out just so that part can happen, and I didn't like that. I was like, oh, okay, so this all this extra talk just so that it lasts long enough so that this guy can walk into the bar. It's like, whatever, man. So it was just one of those things. Other than that, like I said, I like the interaction and between everybody. A lot of shit started making sense. And the one thing I found interesting was that the shapeshifter. As well versed in Trek as
I think you faded out there, brother. You still there? 24?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you faded out there. You said as well versed as Trek is. And then
No, I was saying like I'm not as well versed in Star Trek as you are. But what I wanted to know was whenever any of the different starships whenever they face an enemy, don't they share the information with the whole Federation?
Well, yeah.
So how wouldn't one person know about something that was dealt with 20 years ago? How wouldn't they know about the shit now if that was information that and I figured they all get like they all get schooled, on new enemies. Like, hey, look, we just faced this shit that we ain't never seen before. I think everybody should know. Don't they handle it like that?
Yeah, but there's also like levels of like it depends on who you are. So an engineer on a starship isn't necessarily going to get an entire brief on some new starship that was encountered. That information will go out to the captains, the XOs, and then it'll be sent down the chain if needed or kept under wraps. And sometimes the captains don't even know. Sometimes it's held at the admiralty level and it's need to know. So it all depends on what that information is and where it needs to be known.
And I think on the level of I mean, Picard probably took on the blame because that's just Picard.
Yeah, like Genesis. Kirk knew about Genesis, but Kirk was involved in Genesis. That doesn't mean that every captain in the fleet knew about Genesis. Most likely not. Most likely it was the Admiralty Board and the people that, like Terrell, Captain Terrell, and Kirk, who were involved with the project.
A good simile would be the phase shield that Riker had to tell Picard about
with the Pegasus.
Yeah.
I mean, so something like a shapeshifter wouldn't be something that you would that everybody should know. That it exists and they're running amongst us.
Here's the thing. Okay, Seven never went to Starfleet Academy. So there's going to be gaps in what Seven knows, and Seven never encountered a changeling before. Seven never dealt with one, and the Federation is to a point right now where they're like, well, the Dominion's left us alone for all this time. There's no intelligence briefings going on. There's no security. So I'm sure Seven has heard about the Dominion War and knows what a changeling is, but it's not like she's going to have detailed information on it because she never had to deal with it before.
Try spying on shapeshifters.
All right, well, all right. Let me ask you this: on the level of intelligence, what's the Borg compared to let's say Data?
Oh,
now if that's the case, and they can sit there to gather information, I wouldn't think it'd be outside the realm of who she is, especially at the level that she is in the show.
She knows what a changeling is, and that's something Bosch McFadden just said. She does know what a changeling is. She's just never directly dealt with one before. Now, the question is, did the Dominion ever encounter the Borg? Because if they did, and they got a hold of a changeling, then they have detailed information. But can you assimilate a changeling? There's a question I want answered. So
probably why they haven't met.
If they can't assimilate a changeling, then all they would know is what, let's say, a Jemadar knows or a Vorta. And the Vorta think they're gods. They don't ask questions. They just do whatever a changeling says. So they don't have detailed information on changelings either.
I think a reason why the Dominion and the Borg have not met canonically, to my mind, is because if you assimilate a Jem'Hadar, well, they need crack to survive, a Ketracel white, so they'll die without the white. And with the Vorta, they literally have a built-in kill switch. So if they get assimilated, well, whether they do it themselves or it's remotely done, they can be killed as well. So it's hard to assimilate folks that have been genetically predisposed to destroy themselves as soon as they're not useful to their masters. So
24, it's a good question. It's a good question. It's good information you're bringing this up, and I think obviously we need more information. We do need more information. Did they ever meet? Can you assimilate a changeling? Can you try to assimilate a changeling, or is it going to wind up like when they were trying to take out species 8472? Right there, couldn't assimilate 8472 or changelings. So it's going to be really interesting. I want more information. I do. I want more information. What would you score this episode 24?
This one would actually get it'd get 6.5, man.
6.5. All right.
6.5, man. Yeah, it was decent enough to where, like, if Ralphie was in there, it might have got a 5 or or some shit. But the fact that she wasn't in there, and it was just all about them and them trying to figure it out, and it didn't sound stupid, as far as like how the outcome came about and how they came to do it. It was questionable. Like, what the fuck, like they were about to rig it up and all that other stuff. So it was like, just looking at that, I was like, as far as the starship, like all that was kind of wild. But as far as how they came up with the idea of riding the wave and all that, I thought that was pretty interesting, man. I was like, all right, sounds like something they would have tried to put their heads together with to have a decent outcome. So I enjoyed it, man. And as far as it could be enjoyed for what it is, man. At the moment, man, it was like, all right, it was decent, man. I didn't snicker at it or like trip with it like I did, some of the other episodes. But yeah, that's 6.5, man.
6.5. Bill Barkley says, I like the fact they actually had a captain's log in this episode. They did. Yeah. They did. And I agree, Mark Namely Tire says, I like Captain Shaw. He's bitter, angry, and sarcastic. From our own Mad Wrench of Valhalla, the angry, Mark the infinitely angry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Ryan, let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what your score.
Well, I like the fact that it was just the single A plot, no Raffi. That's always good. Although I do get a sneaking suspicion, folks, that the next episode is going to be all B plot, and that's really going to annoy people. That's just a prediction. I did
think
feel
you're right.
Oh, yes, I do feel that the show was a bit slow this episode, but that is clear to see when you're stuck inside the womb of a giant nebula creature. I really enjoyed near the end, especially the wave and how they took out the Shrike with the asteroid. I myself have not seen Galaxy Quest since I was a boy, so my memory's not that good. And yes, the captain's log or the admiral's log with Picard, that was enjoyable as well. Although it's just those were the best parts. Those were the more consistent events. The worst parts about this episode were the little things, the little inconsistencies, especially with the emotional Vulcan, in the back hugging and all those scenes when the ship has no hope of survival. You don't expect Mr. Tuvok to hug Neelix, do you? You expect Mr. Neelix to hug Tuvok. That's a Voyager reference for you. And I did enjoy this episode, but I'm not hopeful for the next one. Hopefully Lore debuts in episode 5 and shoots Raffi, and then we can all get on the Titan and take on the Dominion terrorists. But I first thought of giving this episode a 7, a 6 plus 1 for not having Raffi. But it was those little inconsistencies in between the more consistent events that has really pushed it down to a 6 for me. That's the biggest problem this show has had, is those inconsistencies that sort of start the episode for me. But I think this is peak Picard season 3, folks. Next episode is going to be awful unless Lore comes along and shoots Raffi dead. Fingers crossed. That'd be one hell of an introduction. But yes, a 6.
A 6. All right. Well, if he does do that and he shoots her and there's like, a hole in her or something, she's got to go give Mama one last hit, baby, before I go. And yeah, okay. Give me the drugs in the eye. Oh, I'm dying. All right. I'm scared, Corbin. Okay. So I think the majority, we're in the middle range right now. I think we're right around probably a 6 on average between everybody. I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you why. It does get a point. It does get a point for Raffi not being in this episode. I'm going to give it a point because, God, I can't stand her. She's annoying. I think they completely screwed up their character. They could have done such a better job if they had done certain things with her, make you relate to her and not just have her trying to fight this feeling that she is a victim. I don't want to be a victim. I don't like the fact that I feel like this. She's got PTSD. There could have been some really good attributes to this one, and they fucked it up. They just made her a junkie, and well, that's what she is. She's a damn junkie, and she's trying to fight it. I understand that in this season, she's trying to fight it, but I'm not going to get over what they've already done. So she's already got the deck stacked against her because of the way they portrayed her in the last 2 seasons. Corbin Dallas, yes, Project Cambridge. I think that Shaw is growing on me. He's the reason why it lost a point or 2 in the first episode and the second episode. So I'm trying to look at this. Are they trying to put forth an effort from what we've asked? And this is what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask all of you out there listening right now. When you said we want the music of Star Trek. We want the feel of Star Trek. We want the characters of Star Trek. We don't want this shit in Discovery. We don't want this shit from these JJ Boot movies. We don't want this. Everybody thought that Strange New Worlds was going to be the absolute bippity boppity fucking boop of Star Trek, and yeah, that didn't happen, did it? So you've asked for certain things, and I think they are trying. I really do. I think that they're trying to give you some things that you want. The problem is the writing is absolutely horrendous. The writing is crap. Throwing F-bombs. I can kind of get when I can kind of get behind when Shaw is sitting there and he's like, charm has been substituted for asshole. I can understand that. I can. Does that mean that it should be in Star Trek? Probably not. But I can understand that. Picard just throwing out an F-bomb all willy-nilly. Well, we were on vacation on Risa when a woman walked up to me and said, "Is that a Horgon?" And I said, "Fuck yes, it is. Let's get busy." And you're like, why does he need to drop an F-bomb? It's this. These are all words that were gone, but they don't care and they hate the Kirk era. I want to tell you guys something. These people hate the Kirk era. Doesn't matter whether it's Terry. It doesn't matter whether it's Kurtzman, Akiva Goldsmith, whatever. They hate Kirk and they want Kirk gone.
Yeah, look at that poster they put out. He wasn't even on it.
He wasn't even on it. They have absolutely no respect or love for Kirk. That is why Discovery failed. That is why STD failed, because they just want to erase the Kirk stuff. And they want to erase his relationship with Spock, his brotherhood, his friendship, and turn it into something twisted and screwed up. Like, oh, they were this. No, they were brothers. They were brothers. Kirk may have been human. Spock may have been half human and half Vulcan, but they were brothers. So was Bones. Bone was like the older brother that was like, you two get your shit together before I come in here and beat the crap out of both of you. And that's the way it was. And they hate that. They hate that. They hate Kirk and they want Kirk gone. So they're not going to do anything that honors him. They're not going to do anything that honors Shatner, that honors that character. That's why STD felt like such an affront. And that is why Strange New Worlds was never going to work out the way people wanted it to, because they don't want that kind of captain. Kirk is oozing with toxic masculinity. Yes, Bosch. Kirk is oozing with toxic masculinity, and they hate that, and they don't want that. They want to get rid of that. So my final score, I like the music. I liked some of the story. I did not like the writing. I do not like the writing. I think that the bit about Wolf 359, that was great. I understand people are going to blame Picard, but honestly, if you really want to get into it, it's Admiral Hansen's fault. He screwed it up. He dropped the ball. Riker tried to warn him. He didn't listen. And 39 out of 40 starships were destroyed and 11,000 crew. Because an admiral, in the end of the day, wouldn't listen.
Stuck in the old golden age mindset, because the Federation had never faced an enemy like the Borg.
And honestly, the first time I saw Battlestar Galactica, when they were shutting down the ships, I was like, you bitches so stole that from Star Trek. Because if you ever read the book, the DS9 books, where they're going over that battle, and Sisko is talking to the people that are still alive, the crew that are still alive from the Saratoga. They talk about ships just being shut off, shut down, and the Borg just vaporizing them right there on the spot. The command codes that hadn't been changed before the battle, those ships were just turned off and destroyed. The Borg bitch slapped the Federation because Hansen wouldn't listen. So, anyways, I think with me giving it a 7, it's still going to be like around between probably a 6.5, around a 6.5. That is still under the mark of where we want to be as a unified group. That's still under the mark.
Yeah.
So Dave Bob, you gave it a 4. Kanuki, you gave it a 7.
Yep.
I mean, we're right in that middle range between a 6 and a 7. And I like what I'm seeing. It's better, but I don't think they have it yet. And if Terry was the one pushing for these changes and pushing for the good we have, whether he's a good person or a bad person, whether he's a shitty person, whatever, and that's gone now, then all these things were like, well, they kind of are, you know, at least working on it being better. All that's gone after this.
I really think episode 5, the next episode of Picard, if it's going to be all B plot, it's going to be the worst episode. It's going to be the god-awful episode that puts the nail in the coffin of this season. One god-awful episode that's all this show needs to just utterly collapse. And I think that's coming next in episode 5. I hope I'm wrong.
You think it's going to be a whole episode with Rappy?
Well, we've had it one way with episode 4. Stands to reason, using logic, that we'll have one the other way for episode 5.
I do want to reference this, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Dave Bob, on this or not. When I watched STD, and when I watched the first 2 seasons of Picard, both with Rambling Canuck, mind you, every episode was I was like, oh my God, I just wanted to put a phaser to my temple and end my own suffering. And Rambling will come up on camera and have that jittery finger thingy going and go, he was vaporized.
Excellent.
I have not felt that way.
You might next episode, though.
And if we have a whole episode with nothing but give mama some sugar, baby. Give mama some drugs. Let me get my eye candy, honey. I very may well want to feel that way, but I haven't felt that way. And that gives me at least some semblance of maybe they're trying. And if they're trying, isn't that what we asked for? Is that not what we asked for? We wanted some real effort to connect everything and to at least try and make it Star Trek. So that's my final thoughts on it. Guys, we've had a wonderful panel this morning. The great Ryan Roger Efe. Ryan, tell us what you're going to be doing, where you're going to be, and what fun you're going to be having for the rest of the day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not planning on making any videos today, so this is why one and only, appearance on the internet, as it were, for today. Although I may make a few videos if I get bored of relaxing. But I hope you all enjoy what I have to offer. I've made well over 1,500 videos now, nearly 50. How many episodes of Reality Based have we done? I don't remember. I think we're in between 50 to 60, so we've got plenty of content on offer, folks, and hopefully you will enjoy what I have to offer. It's in the name, Ryan Roger Efe. And
he stopped counting days, then he stopped counting weeks, then he stopped counting months, and eventually he'll stop counting years. Maybe not. Who knows? I've stopped counting months and days and weeks, and yeah, we're into years. So, Dave Bob, what you got going on, brother?
Pretty much nothing.
enjoying your retirement.
Yes, very much so. I will have to say that I'm an asshole, so I kind of got to where I like the captain a little better now because me and him are pretty much the same.
Dude, that is excellent. I feel the same way. It's nice that you know what, I feel the same way. I like that because that's you know what, I'm starting to like him. He's kind of an asshole. It's like El Perro, ladies and gentlemen. Once you really get to know what El Perro is all about, you're like, yeah. There's Loki, there's trying, but they have a huge hole to fill. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Rambling Canuck, what do you got going on? What you got coming up? Let us know.
Well, I would like to, as you hinted at the beginning of the show, if you didn't go to History with R&R yesterday, I would suggest you do so. It was a really good chat. It's only an hour long with me and Drac. It went better than I expected, and I'm just excited. He will be back on the channel, which is a win in my book. I will either be doing it. I should be doing it later this morning. I'll be going live with Fortnite because it's a new season, and well, I'm in pain, so I need to shoot things. So that'll happen, and then of course karaoke tomorrow night, as usual, as your regular scheduled programming.
All right. 24/7 Fusion Media. Blow that shit up. I'm surprised I didn't hear that when Riker grabbed that asteroid and flung it into the Scimitar 2, aka the Shrike. Blow that shit up. I expect it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Actually, I'll just be live streaming throughout the weekend and dropping videos, at least one every day. So I'll be just trying to get better, and put more content out there. And plus, I wanted to also tell everybody thank you on the panel, everybody out there in the chat for all the love and support, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I love y'all, and thank you all for everything. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah. Appreciate having you around. That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. I love to be around. Thank you, man. It's an honor and a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Well, before we go, I have two things I want to talk about. First of all, there will be a late show tonight, so get ready for that. The return of Mexican Iron Man on the late show. He says no talking about Alf, Fanta, or Mexican Iron Man jumping out of a window. And I said, no. He's already sent the message. I'm going to be there tonight, but no talking about this, that, or the other. And I said, no. What do you mean, no? No. We don't stream with conditions, Mikey. There are no scripts. There is no...
There are no terms of service.
That's right.
No fine print.
That's right. That's right. So the second... Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000 has made a shout out video for me. I very much appreciate Brandon. You do not have to do that, but I appreciate it so very much, guys. If you have not checked out Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000's channel, he loves talking about Looney Tunes. Really sweet guy. Go and check him out.
Oh yeah.
If you like his content, please like, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Let him know that Valhalla sent you, and that you support this great guy's content. He loves Looney Tunes. He's always in here asking about, what's your favorite Looney Tune, Loki? My favorite Looney Tune is Marvin the Martian. What's Dave Bob's favorite Looney Tune?
Well, it looks kind of like my avatar.
A rooster. And the link's in chat. Chris Persia just brought up the link in chat, so we're gonna pin that message. Thank you so very much, Chris Persia, the wrench of wrenches, and the wrench of Valhalla. Thank you so very much. Mark, the infinitely tired, has done exactly the same thing. Our mad wrench, he's angry, ladies and gentlemen. He's an angry wrench. I feel like I'm on Elf. You're an angry elf. Oh yeah, he's an angry wrench, ladies and gentlemen. So Pay no heed to that absolute insane madman in the room with a wrench. Valhalla. But thank you guys so very much for being here. Thank you. Yeah, right there. He's pissed. He's angry. He's
He always
angry.
gets mad because Mary steals all his ammo, but that's besides.
He's angry.
Well,
Don't
will
steal
there
his
be-
gold.
Well, will there be a review of Picard next week, Loki?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Good.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah. Are we going past 4?
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. If anybody doesn't want to do it, they don't have to do it. I said 4. I'm going to watch the next episode, but I swear if by the end of that episode I've got a phaser pointed at my own temple, I'm going to be pretty upset. So,
May stop at 5 then.
God help us. If it's a Raffy thon, I'm just gonna be like, somebody shoot me. So guys, we're out of here. Take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend enter. We'll see you guys later tonight on the Late Show with the one and only Mexican Iron Man. Have a great day, everybody.
Take her easy, folks.
Peace.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.